For this, we're going to head to Google Chrome to get, a lightsaber. I already have a tab open. So to get a decent quality lightsaber, depends what type of lightsaber you want to go with, you'd go to Amazon.com, look up lightsaber. And now if you're on desktop, there's gonna be this option right here that says brand. So you're gonna have to click. You're gonna want to click Star Wars or maybe Hasbro, but if you want to get a lightsaber directly from Star Wars, that'd probably be the best for you. So you pick this. Ooh, device, my bad. And you're going to see a lot of options here. Now, there's a lot of options here, and you feel free to look for these. Now, these ones down here are Black Series. I'll explain those later. But explain those later. My bad. And there's gonna be this, one that can retract and go back. These types. They're pretty cheap. They go from like $8 to $35. Now, the reason why this one's $35 specifically is because it is the Ezra Bridger lightsaber that doubles as a blaster, as a Nerf gun. So you can, use it as a lightsaber, then put it back down and start blasting your enemies. These are perfect for your first lightsaber, especially if you're a child or your son or daughter is a child. So you'd get these. But if you want to, get something a little bit more on the high end, you'd go for some Black Series Force Effects lightsabers. Now for these, you have a lot of options. I mean a lot. Now the biggest downside for me though is that these are not dual ready. Now what do I mean by that? So there are a lot of people who like to have some heavy fighting with the lightsabers, but these lightsabers actually have LEDs on inside the blade itself, and the blade itself is actually very fragile to heavy attacks. So we're looking at the Darth Maul one specifically. I'm not sure if it comes dual bladed, but in the picture it doesn't. Maybe if you get two of them. Anyways, there's also the Luke Skywalker one that I have myself. The only downside is that I'm very scared that it might, break. So I just, do some very light dueling with it. Now, if you are looking for a lightsaber you're dueling with, and it's good quality, and we also have some options to choose from. You have some options for kids too. Would be some custom, places like Ultra Sabers. But at first, I'm going to have to clarify something real quick. Saber Forge. Now, if you're not doing a holiday, thing, if you're not getting this for Christmas, then go for this, because if you are going to get this for Christmas, I don't think that'd be a good idea, because the timing on these shippings, at least from what I've heard, is not that fast. So you might get this, from like 4 to 8 weeks, maybe more. I have heard some people getting them in 10 months. Yeah, that's not fun. So I do not recommend it to get these, but they are very good quality if you're just getting them in general. But there's also other companies like Ultra Sabers. Now, Ultra Sabers, they are pretty cheap. They are not, in the $10 range, of course, but they are, less expensive than the, $200 ones. Now, if you're buying this, we're going to, customize a saber that would be a saber that you would want in general. Because if you want like a decent experience, you'd probably get like a. But you're gonna go for a decent experience with a good price. So, $65. Maybe you can get less, but these cheaper ones do not support sound. So how about we get these Initiate version 3. Get that. I'm gonna minimize this. And now we're gonna get, my bad. Basic sound. Let's just say we want a normal blue saber. Flash and Clash is optional. You need to, Flash and Clash means that you're hitting the saber and it just, flashes like in the movies. Now, what does Stun Saber mean? I forgot to cover this. Stun Saber is a lightsaber that does not have sound. So it's just a lightsaber that lights up, and that's just it. But, if you do want a lightsaber with sound, you just pick basic sound for a cheaper and decent experience. You can choose some colors, but some colors, add some cash to it. So I just go for a Guardian Blue. No Flash and Clash. You might, not want it, but maybe if you do. These Flash and Clashes seem to be very expensive, so maybe not adding some Flash and Clash might save you a lot of money. I don't think the Obsidian Light Battery configuration can be changed on this model of hilt I have grabbed. Now for dueling, you're probably gonna want to get an Ultra Edge heavy grade so that it can stand heavy blows. At least that's what I understand from it. Now it depends what you're buying it to, who you're buying this lightsaber for. The 16 would probably be for a toddler, let's say. A 24-inch would be for a 6 to 10-year-old. And for teenagers and adults, it would be the standard 32. You can go longer if you want, but the 32-inch is probably your best bet. Then you choose a soundboard. I think that's the only option for this hilt, or maybe in general. The pommel. How about we use the recommended pommel just so that you don't spend more money than you don't need to. There are switches that can be turned on. They're illuminated. But I do just recommend a regular switch, like a switch for starting out. Now the round tip or the pointed tip is optional. I recommend going with a round tip because you're just starting off. There's a screw wrench that it just adds $1. I think, yeah, it depends if you need it or not. The blade plug is great for protecting your LEDs while you don't have a blade on, if you're just gonna have the blade off. Personally, I haven't gotten any blade plugs because I'm not thinking of putting my blades out for too long. But if I do, then I'll get them later. Just so I let you know, I am not getting these Ultra Sabers for holidays, so I do not have too much or I'm not gonna have like any information. So it has a total of, let's see, 180 for the saber alone, and I guess there is no well, without tax it'd be $185 for a for a standard saber. That would be cheap. Now the last company I'm gonna go through is Kyber Light. Now this is the one I'm personally getting for the holidays, and I think it'd be the best option for a first lightsaber. Maybe not, maybe some of you might say no, but personally I think this might be the best option for a starter. Now this is a very simple concept. You just pick your size of lightsabers for a lightsaber, yeah. They come in colors, but there is a mistake I have done while getting one of these. A problem I I did on accident was that I ordered this lightsaber. This one actually is for, ages 6 to 10. I didn't read that. All I saw was a cheaper price, and I went for it. Turns out it was not the best idea because it only has a 24-inch blade. It says somewhere. It says it somewhere, but it's a 2-foot blade, and is right there. It's a 2-foot blade, and not for me. I probably want a 32-inch blade. So then we're switching over to this. Now you may be confused. How are these different? Why are there not that many options? Well, actually there is. This is how your naked hilt, let's just call it the naked hilt, is gonna look like. No pommel, no emitter, and no sleeve. What I mean by that is that some these just come specifically with it, but you can also buy additional accessories for it to look the way you want it to look. So we have like a few bundles. I personally like the Temple Guard bundle. Like, look how awesome it looks. Like, look at that. You also got the red guard, the light side, and the dark side. Well, it doesn't show it all together, but you get the idea. You also have these, alternative emitters and all of those things. I also like the plasma fire because it's a pretty good hand guard if you want to, spin while your hand is guarded while you're spinning. It's not much, but it might be, preferable for me personally. I do like the Corona with the windows though. That does look pretty good. And then we got some sleeves and some pommels. Now, if you do want a dual-bladed lightsaber from Kyber Light, you're gonna have to get 2 lightsabers of your size and buy a dual saber connector accessory. Now, another mistake I almost made is that I thought the Kilonova pommel was the dual saber connector. Now, do not make this mistake because they both look like they have screws on both ends, but this is the actual connector. So get this one. Get this one. They also have blade plugs if you want a blade plug too. And display, but apparently they're out of stock, so I'm not gonna get one of those. So just get a dual saber connector if you're buying 2 of them and you want to have a dual saber experience. Kyber Lights come with actually 20 colors built in with no extra charge, and they actually come with a, I think, mostly indestructible blade. I think. Yeah, it is. Oh, and how it says here is lifetime warranty. Some people might say the sound isn't that good, but I think the brightness is decent. So I think that's all. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good lightsaber that you end up getting. And I hope this video was helpful for you, and may the Force be with you always.